Hey there guys, this is me, Malorian, and this is going to be an intro video for the battle reports that is going to be following this one, and that's going to be for Blood and Gears 2018. Now, for those who don't know, Blood and Gears is kind of like the big event that we do here in Edmonton, Alberta for War Machine. It's one that I started up a few years ago. It's a 2-day Masters event, and the cool thing is that, I mean, of course the top group goes to the second day of Masters, but for everybody else, depending on how you did on day one, you're put into tiered steamrollers for the second day. So if you did great and didn't quite make it, you'll be in tier 1. If you didn't do all that great the first day, you'll be up against other people who didn't do all that great the second day. So that's been really popular. Now for me, I'm really not hoping to be in that bracket there. I am really pressuring myself and pushing myself to do well in this event, and I really want to win it all. In some other ones, I've been like, okay, I want to go 3-1, I want to do like fairly well, I want to threaten top tables. In this one, no, I want to win this one and take home the gold. I think the really big reason for that is, one, I kind of did some self-reflection, looked back on some of my previous results for this past year, and they've been pretty mediocre, where it's like, sure, I get some 3-1s, also get some 2-2s, but nothing that's there in the top. I mean, in the past, I'd win 1 or 2 events a year type thing, and this year, it just hasn't happened yet. And the big thing is that the WTC is coming up here in the applications, and if I want to apply, I need something on my resume. And so this is really what I'm telling myself, is that if I can win this, then I'll apply to be on the WTC team. If I don't win, I don't think I'd really stand a chance, because I don't have anything really to show for it. It'd be like, hey, I win some games sometimes. Like, that's just not going to be it. But if I can come in and be like, hey, I won the Masters event of Edmonton, okay, that's now suddenly something to give me some credence. Now, what I'm going to be running with, and why I think that I'll be doing better now than in the past, is I now have everything painted and ready for the Magnus 2 list I've been wanting to play since Mark III came out, but it just wasn't painted, so I wasn't really using it. And that is pretty much the Magnus 2 with all the dudes. I've had some pretty good success in the past with Magnus 2 with, the Nomads and stuff like that, but back in Mark II, I played Magnus 2 with, press gangers and other things like this, but it's now halberdiers is what you really want to go with. So what the list is Magnus 2. The battle group is going to be 2 Nomads and a Buccaneer. That Buccaneer is a great target for the bullet dodger. You throw it on that thing, it's like defense 15 with dodge, defense 17 if it's charged. You throw it places, it jams things. It's fantastic. Meanwhile, what I also have in there is I have 2 max units of press gangers, 3 max units of the halberdiers, Alexia and the Risen. I also have some Kayazi eliminators, so they can run in and contest some things in some places. And as well, I also have Anastasia, I have Rupert, I have Gorman, I have Ragman, and I have Orin. And so with that, now there's so much battle engines and medium infantry, so Gorman's great for that. If anything sneaks in, I really need Ragman to really make sure I can kill stuff. Orin's going to be killing off first of all protecting me, but as well killing off gremlin swarms and stuff. So it's of course really pressured for scenario. Of course with all the dudes, I just need Rupert just to make sure I have some Pathfinder options, and as well to put out tough if I need it. But it's just a very powerful scenario list, and I'm really looking forward. In all my practice games, it's doing amazingly well, which is to be expected. The other list I'm going to pair with it is kind of my dark horse. It's a list that I've been playing around with, and I think it's amazing. I first came up with it when I was trying to figure out how to deal with double judicators, and when I was looking around, I was like, well, I think that things would be good against it is stuff that can shut down shooting and mercenaries. There's not actually that much about it, but there is McBain who has countermeasures. So what I'm running in this one is McBain and Lealise, obviously the first ones in irregulars, and the list I'm going to be taking here is McBain with 3 Nomads and a freebooter, and I also have Silas in there, and then I also have Gaston with 2 more Nomads. Now this is a very high presence of jacks. I have the choir, so I can make it so they're all not shootable by non-magical attacks. I can strengthen them up, all these things. But the other great thing is that I have Jackhammer. And of course, I'm seeing a lot more Jackhammer coming around doing great things. And so really what that does is like I can run up a jack and I can just like Jackhammer, Jackhammer, Jackhammer. And if I put Fortune on it first, that's re-rolling hits. And I can upkeep that for free because of Silas. I can also, if I really need that extra distance, I have the Energizer. The freebooter can throw and knock something down first. So it actually has really good attrition and really good assassination potential. And meanwhile, the other unit I'm taking through this Alliance thing, the Lealese theme, is I'm also taking Flamebringers. And if you don't know what those are the Menoth Fast Cav. And so they can just run out. They're speed 9, they can out there 18 inches. I can feat on them, so it's basically auto tough. Anti-tough doesn't stop it. You're basically healing 1 point automatically, knockdown or not. So only anti-healing stops it. And meanwhile, I put countermeasures on them. So if I'm up against something really shooty that I'm scared of, like a Nemo or a Double Judicators, I can just basically feat on those front models, have countermeasures on them, run them up. And so not only is that going to be a jam, because I mean like 5 large bases spaced out the amount that I need to, is going to pretty much stop a large swath of the army. So that could be like a scenario push already, but now it's shutting down all of that shooting, and meanwhile it's also setting me up for the alpha for all those jacks coming up behind. And of course I can feed on Gaston, keep him safe too. Otherwise I have Anastasia again, I have Ragman, I have Gorman again, and then another one I took that I think is interesting in this list is also took Terran. She doesn't really do a lot for what the list is trying to do, but it's more of an elimination piece where if I need to get rid of a couple things in the way, she's really good for that. It's also defense 15 with dodge, so she's not too bad just to kind of like put in annoying places and just, again, trying to pick out some of those annoying things that are in my way. So those are 2 lists. This will not be an easy task. I mean, there's so many good players here in Alberta that I'll be having to contend with. And all I can really hope is that, you know, I'll get the good drops that I need, that I can roll well, get the good scenarios that I need that are alive at the right times when I need them, and fingers crossed, maybe I can come out this thing with a win. So anyway, I'm not going to be repeating my lists and things for the future videos, so that's why I want to make sure I have this, is so that you can come back here and know what my lists were and the reasons why I'm taking them, and then I can kind of focus on those games. So if you want to, you can, you know, before you see those, put down below how you think I'm going to do. This is actually going to be a 5-round event, assuming I make it to the second day. If I don't, well, I guess those other ones will be losses, and we'll have to kind of see how it goes with the day 2 steamrollers. But yeah, if you want to, go down below, put a comment in thinking posting how you think I'm going to do, and we'll see if you're right. So there you go, fingers crossed, and I'll see you for the first battle report coming after this. Bye.